mama behind Kindle Togetherness. Welcome back to our channel today. It is so nice to have people who want to come along and see what we're doing, who feel like what adventures we're having or curriculums we're using or what's happening in our home is something that's encouraging and inspiring to them. If you are new here, I would so appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We are excited about sharing more of our lives with you here on YouTube. So today's video, I'm very excited about it. I've talked about it before, but I'm gonna do a refresh. It is all about the curriculum that we use in our home, which is called A Gentle Feast. And here I have the Cycle 1 Teacher's Planner. This is what they're calling it now. It used to be called something different, but they wanted to differentiate how it's to be used. So I'm going to tell you all about A Gentle Feast. Now, our family has been using A Gentle Feast for 4 complete years. We're about to finish our 4th year. We have done all 4 of their history cycles. So A Gentle Feast is a Charlotte Mason inspired curriculum. The idea behind it is to spread a gentle feast of learning for your children, to bring living books and ideas for your children to work with, to consider, to connect. And it's been a wonderful fit for our family. And there are several reasons why, and I'm going to share them here. The first thing is that it was written by another mother. Her name is Julie Ross, and I feel like she's done a lovely job with it. When you purchase A Gentle Feast, you're going to purchase a history cycle. So there's history cycle 1, 2, 3, and 4. The very first cycle, and the way that you can tell what's going on their website, they have this information. But essentially down here, when you buy a cycle, you get all of your grades. You get 1st grade through 12th grade lesson plans, all in the same history. So if you have multiple children like me, we have 3 kids. I have a child finishing 4th grade, a child finishing up the 2nd grade, and a child who's going to be up and coming into the 1st grade. They are all studying the same time period in history. So cycle 1 is going to cover like American history from the very beginning of known American history all the way through the beginning of the American colonies and Native Americans and Indigenous people. And then cycle 2 is going to move on to the Revolutionary War era and what happens just after the Revolutionary War. And then cycle 3 covers your Civil War era and some of the westward expansion that happened in the USA. And then finally, the cycle we're currently in is cycle 4, which covers your Industrial Revolution of the USA, World War II, up into some modern times. A Gentle Feast, when you order it, you're going to pick one of those history cycles. And when you purchase that online curriculum, you immediately have access to all of the plans via a spreadsheet online. You can check in the description below. I actually do a walkthrough of the online resources and how to order in another video. So you can follow up with that for details on how to order if you get ready to do that after watching this video. But essentially, you will have an online lesson plans, all your resources, any links you need, all of that. And then you can choose, if you'd like, to also order a planner. And I always order the planner. I'm an old school girl. I have to have my written stuff. So it is magazine quality. Julie does a beautiful job having these professionally printed. They're well worth having. She has some goal planning and vision things. Her newest planners also include all the books you need per form for each term. So they're broken down by your students' form that they're in, which is really nice to have. I just check them off as we go along, as they come in, and then I know I'm ready to go. And then this is what is one of the huge perks of having the planner. So if you can look here, you will see that for all students and all grade levels, the plans for a week are laid out in a 2-page spread, and it is just so nice. It has been a wonderful way to be able to see what we're doing for the whole week. I plan my children's planners based off this. So I write as I shift responsibility for some of the learning off to my sons as they get older. I'm able to take what's in this 2-page spread and give them responsibility for their work. So this is the planner, and it does have the lesson plans, but it doesn't have the links. You know, there are things, we live in a modern world, even in a Charlotte Mason education, there are times that you're gonna want to watch a video or to hear something. So Julie has all of that in the online plans, in the membership that you get. Other things that you get in your membership are access to videos that teach you about the Charlotte Mason method, that walk you through this curriculum and how to use it, how to execute it. This guide also has sample exam questions for every form. They're not specific questions. They give you guidance on how to ask your children questions that will elicit narration, because that's what Charlotte Mason exams are. So it's a framing. It's a way to frame your questions. It's not providing the specific questions asked, because every education in a Charlotte Mason education is different. It's living. It meets the child where they are. It respects the child as a person. The other things that you get in your online membership is a morning time, which is actually, Julie calls it a beauty loop. And in that beauty loop, you have picture study or artist study. Per term, you have a poet, you have a folk song, a hymn, Bible readings, Bible memorization, and that is included when you purchase the online membership, when you buy your curriculum. However, what is not included is this spectacular morning time printed manual. And for me, this is a must-have. We begin every day at our breakfast table here, and within this are all the pieces of what I need in order to give my children their morning time. So it has our Bible readings, it has our beauty subjects laid out beautifully, and then in the newer guides, morning time guides, she also has included really good information for the mama to share about each beauty subject. So you have your hymns within. She talks about who wrote the hymn, the history behind it. So whereas in the past, I would look up that information or use other resources, she's now including it, which is really, really nice. So she provides clickable links, which are in your membership, for you to go and learn more about these people that you're introducing your children to. Things that you can add on with a Gentle Feast. So you do not get your language arts included with your plans. Like, they're in there, but you have to buy a separate language arts. So you can choose to purchase something on your own that you're already loving and using, or you can choose to purchase a Gentle Feast language arts, which is what our family does. And it's laid out to correlate with the readings your children are doing in their history cycle. So essentially, this is a Charlotte Mason language arts curriculum. You know, it's a gentle moving towards the mechanics of writing and a gentle learning grammar. It is not a rigorous workbook style, even though it's a consumable resource. So each week has 5 days planned out for you. And this is actually something my children get so familiar with that they are able to do it mostly independently. But here's 1 week. So this would be for I believe for my Form 1 student. Yeah. So he's still working in the manuscript. So here's his copy work, and then here's some spelling words. Then there's usually a drawing page for them to draw. There's a composition prompt. And what's so nice about this, and I feel like this whole curriculum is this way, here's a grammar focus, here's a phonics focus, but one of the things that I really just love about a Gentle Feast, lastly, is our dictation that we do at the end of the week. But what I love is that pretty much everything in a Gentle Feast is a movable part. So it's not written in such a way that if you remove a piece or sub in or out a book, that you lose the beauty and the value of this curriculum. So there are times when I come across another book I really want to add in and we just don't have space for it. So I make a swap. And it really hasn't changed anything for us. I have friends who don't use the language arts from A Gentle Feast. They choose to use something else. And it hasn't changed the dynamic and the beauty and the gentleness and the feast that Julie has prepared in this curriculum. Another thing that does not come with your membership when you purchase a history cycle is going to be your math. So you're going to need to investigate what math is going to work best for your student and have a plan for that. I wanted to mention that for those of us who are like, I don't know what history cycle to start in, I don't understand, it can go one of two ways. One, you can be a brand new homeschool family, your student is just starting out or has never been home educated before, and you just want to start at the beginning because that was Charlotte Mason's suggestion, right? So then I would start at the beginning. Cycle 1 is for you to start there and move forward. Now, in the event that you have a student who has previously used other curriculums, or you've studied other parts of history, or they were in a private school and you're really familiar with what they've already learned, you may want to pick up at a different place. And it doesn't hurt anything, you guys. If you've already done another curriculum that covered the beginning of US history or covered Civil War era, you just pick up at the next one and you'll cycle back through. You know, this year we are completing the 4th cycle in history. So we have studied all the way from the beginning of known US history, boop, 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 all the way to modern times. And then we're going to loop back to the beginning. And now I'm taking my Form 2 student who will be in 5th grade, and he's going to start right back at the beginning and add in some other history streams, which is a very Charlotte Mason idea and concept, and it's how her philosophy works. So all of that said, I want to talk about just a couple additional things that you can get at A Gentle Feast. And I also want to talk about why we chose A Gentle Feast over some other amazing Charlotte Mason curriculums, just for those of you on the fence. So first of all, Julie has handwriting curriculums, which we have used and enjoyed. I will try and do a video on them. If you will let me know which questions you have or what components you want to know more about, I'm happy to try to get a blog post or another video up for you if I know there's interest. She has a pre-reading curriculum that is a Charlotte Mason style, like for your pre-K or kindergarten student that is still wanting to learn letters. But now this, I'm using that with my 6-year-old right now. But now this, he will actually start in this at the beginning of this next school year. He'll be in 1st grade, his first year in Form 1. This teaches him how to read. And I have successfully used this to teach my eldest son, who is 10, how to read. And now my second eldest son, who is 8, how to read. And I'm so excited to do it again with another child. It's just so much fun to see. And that speaks volumes to how this is so adaptable for the student and for the child. It's slow and steady when it comes to reading, in my opinion. I don't push them. We just work at their pace and find what works for them and keep moving forward, and they eventually figure it out. Now, speaking of why we chose, why would you choose A Gentle Feast over Ambleside Online? Ambleside Online's free, right? For us, it was a matter of a few things. One, A Gentle Feast has such fabulous organization, and as a working from home mother and a busy mother who runs a co-op and has just so much on her plate, I really appreciated having it in a beautiful and easy to implement format. And that once I got an understanding of how it was laid out, I was so able to move the parts around to suit my family and to serve my children best. And I think you will feel the same way if you decide to use A Gentle Feast. So that was one reason. Another reason is where it begins in history. So Miss Mason talks about how we should begin with what the child knows in history and in time. So we should begin with their home. You know, when we start with geography, we talk about our house, our bedrooms. We start that close to what they know. And then we branch out, you know, the land around our house, and then into our neighborhood, and then into the street, you know, a block away, and then we start making maps of our little town. And so you kind of move out in these concentric circles. Similarly with history, our children are going to start with what they know. That's what Miss Mason suggested. And so with every other Charlotte Mason curriculum I was looking at, they were starting with British history, and I couldn't go there. I was like, my children know the USA. This is all they have a framework for. And I wanted it to be immediately relatable to them, where they were able to begin to form these relationships with these, famous men and women that shaped the place they live. And so that was one of the driving forces for why I chose A Gentle Feast. I really liked where they begin in history. They started with the USA. Now, it doesn't mean there's not some overlap with England straight away. I mean, how can you talk about the Revolutionary War without discussing England? How can you talk about explorers coming into this part of the world without discussing how different royal families were involved from different countries? So there's most certainly places where you're having those discussions about other countries right away. But I liked that the foundation was based on what my children knew and experienced in their lifetime already. And then at last, and I've already touched on this, I just really like how all of your children are studying the same cycle in history. I think there's something to be said and something beautiful about our kids learning about the same period of time. So while you will be using a variety of books dependent upon the form your students in, a 6-year-old is not reading the same exact books as your 10-year-old. There's so much overlap in what they're learning, and I think that that's important and value it. So I hope that this has been informative for you. If you have enjoyed this video and it's been helpful, I hope you will like this video. Leave me a comment with any questions that you have or remarks or things you'd like to add to the information that I provided. I will try and respond to all the comments as I see them. Also, if you would subscribe, it would help our family out so much. And I will be providing a link to purchase A Gentle Feast in the description below, as well as how to find me on Instagram, where I kind of share lots of details of our day-to-day life and what's going on, how we travel, how we love the outdoors, how we have a co-op, how we implement A Gentle Feast. So if that's your thing, I'd love to see you over there at kindle_togetherness. And that's it for now. If you have A Gentle Feast questions, please put them in the comments and maybe we will connect again another time.